One sunny week in June 1947, Private Pilot Kenneth Arnold was flying a routine business trip when he went off route. He was alerted on the radio of another plane that had crashed near Mount Rainier, with a large reward being offered for its recovery. Arnold noted the clear weather and mild wind at the time. After a fruitless search, Arnold headed back en route at approximately 3 p.m. when he saw a bright flashing light similar to a mirror reflecting sunlight. 30 seconds later, after confirming there were no other aircraft in his vicinity, Arnold saw another series of flashes north of Mount Rainier, roughly 20 miles away. He double-checked the possibility of his own plane causing the reflections, and even his own vision, but concluded he was seeing flying objects. They flew in a line, looking almost like a formation of geese. The fleet of UFOs quickly passed by the mountain, giving Arnold a better view of them against the snow. The thin, flat shape of the crafts is thought to be the origin of the term flying saucer, as that was Arnold's initial description of what they looked like. Upon landing, Arnold shared his story with multiple pilot friends and was asked to give an interview to the East Oregonian paper. Reporters saw the experienced businessman and pilot as a reliable witness whose story felt authentic without embellishment. Arnold's story gained traction, and Sci-Fi magazine editor Raymond A. Palmer reached out to ask Arnold to be a trusted investigator into the claims of 2 harbor patrolmen in Tacoma that they had also witnessed a UFO fleet. About a month later, Arnold was speaking with Harold Dahl, who claimed that earlier that summer, on his patrol boat off the shore of Murray Island, 6 large donut-shaped aircraft passed overhead. Without warning, one of the 6 objects plummeted below, sending metal debris raining down upon their boat. Dahl's son was struck by some of the debris, as was their dog. The dog did not survive the incident. Although he was shaken, Dahl was able to take some quick photographs of the ominous objects with his camera, and he returned to shore. Dahl shared these images with his supervisor, who would later visit the site of the incident himself and vouch for Dahl's otherworldly claim. However, sharing that which he had seen may have been a fateful error for Harold Dahl. The very next morning, there was a knock at the door of Dahl's home. At the threshold stood a tall man in a black suit, who stunned Dahl by recounting the extraordinary experience just as it had happened the day before, and declaring, "What I have said is proof that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe." The man in black instructed Dahl to never again speak of what he had seen over the Puget Sound that morning, before turning away and leaving Dahl speechless. After interviewing Dahl, Arnold recruited other military officers to his investigation, including Lieutenant Frank Brown and Captain William L. Davidson. The pair conducted their own investigation, but in early August, they were returning to California when their B-52 crashed outside of Kelso, Washington. They died in the crash. The circumstances surrounding their deaths are questionable at best and downright evil at worst. Did these men know too much? What did they find out when asking what ended up being too many questions? And was asking these questions what led to their death? It is entirely possible the cause of their death came from one of the very UFOs they were investigating to force their plane to crash horribly while making it look like a natural accident. These initial incidents are the first known of many interactions with shadowy men in black suits shortly after witnessing unexplained phenomena. While the men in black are frequently shored up as simply being G-men, the nature of their work may extend far beyond aiding in secretive government activity. The men in black have been alleged to have been discouraging witnesses to more supernatural phenomena as well. John Keel, author of the Mothman Prophecies, claimed to have personally encountered men in black after witnessing a UFO zip across the sky. He described the pair of men he encountered as demonic supernaturals. Verified images of the men in black are few, but in 2009, a hotel lobby's security camera captured footage of what ufologists claim is proof of the men in black. Two men, described by a bellhop as really tall, of identical height, and having extremely pale skin and the same faces like they were twins. They were wearing the exact same clothes, black suits, black trench coats, and old-fashioned fedora hats. Another witness described the men as lacking any facial hair, including missing eyebrows and eyelashes. The two men insisted on speaking with the manager on a sensitive matter. Upon learning the manager was not present, the men in black simply left and did not return. Prior to the arrival of the two strangers, the hotel manager, Shane Savar, had indeed admitted in a published interview that he witnessed strange objects in the sky. Shane Savar said it was about 10:30 p.m. on October 14th when he was working at one of the hotels overlooking the falls. My security officer came out at some point, said Savar. He was looking out over the river and said either someone went into the river and they were looking for them, or that's a UFO. I've never seen a bright light like that, said Savar. It wasn't pointing down, it was pointing right at us. Savar said just before the object got to the falls area, it dimmed out a little, and that if it had continued on the same path, it would have gone directly on top of him. When it was over the river, it seemed closer and lower, said Savar. It seemed to be 50 to 75 feet over the hotel. Savar said as the object approached the hotel, it seemed to slow down and it was directly on top of him. He said it was big, black, and triangular, with a big light on the front and a pulsating red light akin to a heartbeat underneath. Savar said that during that time of night there wasn't a lot of traffic or street noise and that you could have heard a pin drop. He said the object didn't make one sound. This was the second sighting in the Niagara area this month, and the fourth since the summer. This revelation seems to be confirmation of the Men in Black's mission to locate any and all witnesses to the paranormal. But we know governments around the world have always lied to the public about the existence of UFOs. But are authorities working with those very extraterrestrial visitors to shield us from the truth? In long-held suspicions, the name Men in Black has been associated with dark-suited agents, likely to approach if you have publicly spoken about your experience with extraterrestrials. They are believed to investigate possible UFO sightings and then strong-arm those witnesses into silence, or worse. Confirmed sightings of the men in black are few and far between. However, there are moments throughout history when they may have been closer than we realized. Whether they are alien entities or truly human, the men in black seem to work in cooperation with earthly governments when the goal is ultimate secrecy. While the men in black excel at remaining inconspicuous, one possible sighting of a man in black could be due in part to the subject's noticeably peculiar behavior in a crowd. We turn now to a mysterious figure captured in the Zapruder film, known to conspiracy theorists as the Umbrella Man. Were the men in black present at, or even involved in, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy? It had rained in Dallas, Texas the day before Kennedy's assassination, but the November skies had cleared hours before President Kennedy's motorcade would travel its route through Daley Plaza. Cheering onlookers can be seen in archival footage and photographs, wearing clothes befitting a clear, sunny day without an umbrella in sight. However, one man standing in a dark suit on the side of the road happened to open a large black umbrella and raise it above his head as Kennedy's motorcade approached. The man panned the open umbrella clockwise, in time with Kennedy's car passing by. At that very moment, gunfire rang out across the plaza, and President John F. Kennedy had been fatally shot. The Umbrella Man had been one of the closest bystanders at that fateful moment. In the aftermath of the shooting, the same man can be seen calmly sitting with a second man on the sidewalk. Was the Umbrella Man simply at the wrong place at the wrong time? Had the out-of-place umbrella been a signal to the assassins? The man's peculiar reaction to witnessing a presidential assassination firsthand would be in line with the cold, emotionless nature commonly described of the men in black. Are the men in black especially tasked with covering up footprints left behind by classified government activity? One report on top-secret activity carried out by agents of Area 51 may hold the key to unlocking the mystery of the men in black. Stories of men in black appearing to intimidate eyewitnesses are many, but perhaps their function extends to disguising physical evidence of secret government programs. In the early morning hours of July 11th, 1986, Major Ross E. Mulhare conducted a test flight of a then-classified aircraft, the F-117 Nighthawk, in a mock combat mission. However, Mulhare was overtired and tragically lost control of his craft, sending it into a steep dive into a hillside just inside the Sequoia National Forest. Mulhare did not survive, and the craft was shattered into pieces. However, the crash had started a moderate fire, and the town nearby would surely ask questions about what had happened. And so, the Air Force scrambled to secure a perimeter around the site with a gunship, helicopters, and armed sentries with M16 automatic rifles. To completely clear the site of classified debris would seem an impossible task, but those gnarled pieces of metal were successfully swapped for those belonging to a previously crashed F-101A Voodoo, which had been stored at Area 51 for this very purpose. This incredible feat of covert logistics speaks to the ability of entities working in cooperation with Area 51, and the lengths to which those entities are willing to preserve the government's secrets. Were the men in black present in the woods that day, conducting their work? What is the purpose of intimidating witnesses to unexplained phenomena? Why must they be kept quiet? Perhaps the men in black are in fact interdimensional entities traveling across space and time through wormholes, not unlike those witnessed by observers of strange visitors to Utah's Skinwalker Ranch. Knowing that the government has invested in Skinwalker Ranch in the past, it could be that the men in black number among the ranch's otherworldly stewards. It should be seriously considered that the men in black are not just government agents wanting to silence UFO witnesses, but that they actually are aliens themselves, working with government authorities. The shadowy covenant with extraterrestrials to keep their known existence secret is a mutually beneficial relationship. But what is the nature of this symbiosis? What could human governments possibly gain by working with extraterrestrials and vice versa? Perhaps the alien authorities have deemed humanity unworthy of participation in the intergalactic realm at large. We are not welcome to communicate with the other intelligent alien species, so both human and extraterrestrial governments tirelessly work to prevent contact between species. Human governments likely believe the irrevocable knowledge that we are not alone in the universe would cause the downfall of society as we know it. Alternatively, it could unite humanity in a way which the powers that be would lose control and therefore will never allow. There will always be curious and willful individuals willing to risk everything to communicate across the universe and share the truth. There are brave UFO pilots reaching out from the stars and welcoming humans, summoning them. Human military pilots become more and more comfortable publicly proclaiming that they have seen things that simply cannot be explained away without recognizing intelligent extraterrestrial life. As risky as it may be, pushing back against the men in black to spread the truth is becoming more and more common. Perhaps as humankind continues to evolve, the men in black are gradually receding into the shadows, as modern technology might be making their goals of secrecy unattainable. In 2022 alone, scientists were able to receive radio communication from billions of light years away, and hundreds more UFO reports to the Pentagon were made, at least half of which were unable to be explained. For as little as we know for certain about the men in black, they remain ubiquitous in the public consciousness, inspiring stories in pop culture such as the Mothman prophecies, Welcome to Night Vale, The Matrix, and of course, the Men in Black franchise. While these fictional appearances are often fun, the real Men in Black remain just outside our periphery, watching and waiting to act on their mysterious designs. It is difficult to say exactly who or what they are, but speculation leads us to believe the Men in Black are, in some form, stewards of our reality, with the ability to be anywhere and everywhere, all at once. Through either coercion or forces beyond our understanding, they will go to great lengths to achieve their goals. We cannot say with certainty what those goals are, but we do know the Men in Black shall remain deeply creepy. What do you think? Are the stranger chapters of our history truly plagued by these mysterious entities? Or are they here to clean up humanity's mistakes in order to keep us safe? Perhaps they have their own deeply creepy motives, unknowable to inhabitants of this plane of existence. In any case, be sure to keep one eye open for the Men in Black. Subscribe to Deeply Creepy, and let us know which deeply creepy stories we should cover next. Until next time, stay creepy.